My name is Jonathan Harris. I'm born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm 31 years old, turning 32 in a couple of months, and I really got into music because growing up as a kid, I was a part of the youth choir where we sung a lot of songs when it comes to the holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, all that good stuff. And honestly, it wasn't really until I entered middle school when I was around like 12 years old back in '05, and I really got into the hip hop scene where I really started to jive in with a lot of artists in hip hop and R&B like Lil Wayne, Chris Brown, Ludacris, Kanye West in his earlier works, Jay-Z, Eminem, Lauryn Hill, and I even got more excited and more involved with Biggie and Tupac's music, and it really delved into me so much that back in 2010 was the first time I ever started writing songs. And I remember I was at piano practice back then. I was 16 years old, and I just started writing lyrics together, and I was showcasing them to my friends and classmates, and they really seemed to like it. And once I realized that I had a type of talent potential, I just started putting it all together and started performing in front of people, like at my school, in front of talent shows and whatnot, where I started using beats of old other artists like Nicki Minaj and 2 Chainz, for example, and the crowd really seemed to like it, and it took off even further in 2013, where I performed in front of my church, in front of a big audience, and they all seemed to love it. And that was just a moment I knew that I had a gift and talent for something, and I wanted to continue to pursue it even further. But I was still in school, I was working part-time, I didn't have the money and resources and everything like
Mhm.
that. I still got involved when I was at Towson University as an EMS major in the media program, and I wanted to do more, but I put that on hold because I wanted to focus more on finding my career path after I graduated from Towson 6 years ago. And I got back into music last year because it's mostly due to serious frustrations of the job market and not really getting much opportunities in this job market in my field. I feel like I deserve to be a part in with higher salaries and whatnot. So last year, I worked on an EP called Here I Come. It has 6 total songs. It's available out on Apple Music and Spotify. And I released it back in January. And for the past few months, I've been working hard to continue to get major exposure for my music because I really want to make a difference in the music industry. And one of my main goals is to really perform in front of large audiences and showcase my talent even more, and
Mhm.
also team up and collaborate with my favorite artists in hip hop, R&B, and then the pop genre in general. So that's currently where I'm standing right now.
Nice. I did listen to the Here I Come EP, and I will say the beats are very reminiscent of that like earlier 2000s sort of
Yeah,
style. So I can definitely see the influence.
most definitely. And just to clear, like I still like how modern hip hop is composed nowadays, though mostly with Eminem and Kendrick Lamar. But I feel like we really don't have the type of style, though. But yeah, that's where I get my influence because of hip hop was mostly that old school vibes with kind of a mixture of songs you hear modernized. And also, like, I'm also a video gamer and I play a lot of video games, and I was talking to my producers about how my tracks to be composed of, and I was like listening to some video game tracks I heard over the years. I still listen to this very day. I was telling my producer, would it be cool if we can incorporate how those tracks are composed into a hip hop beat? And that's what I also use for my song Power. It's kind of reminiscent about that. And I even performed my song Power in the open mic night a couple weeks ago, and the crowd really loved it. And I definitely, there's probably recency bias though. The crowd also definitely thought my performance was the best out of all the rappers out there, though, because of that kind of old school vibe
Hmm.
of hip hop music, and it really does feel really rewarding to really get that recognition and what I'm trying to do as a whole.
Good. That's really good. What's your inspiration behind the EP?
I would say mostly to get back into the music scene, and there's also inspiration just to honor my mother who passed away about 4 years ago due to cancer, and she was also a big supporter of my talents, my accomplishments, and how hard I worked just to get to this point in time. And me and mom, we always weren't on the same page with each other. We always butted heads with each other because I saw things differently from her point of view. But when she was about to pass away, she told me that she was very proud of my accomplishments and was hoping that I achieve tremendous success. And that's why I'm continuing to push in through my EP and to really showcase the world that hey, there is a talented artist out there in this world that's worth investing for and worth listening for and trying to push forward to really make a difference in the music industry.
Mhm. Speaking of your mother, I know that there's like a lot of pushback when it comes to pursuing sort of artistic things.
Right.
Was she always supportive of your musical journey, or did it take a while to get there?
She was always very supportive though, and it wasn't really like not the lack of support though. It was kind of like how life took a different turn for me after all these years. Like when I was growing up, when I was started my writing my own songs though, I didn't have the money to really like go to a studio and produce my own track because I didn't have the money for it though, and I was still in school at the time. But now that I'm out of school and I definitely have a better knowledge, and I really feel I grow in my songwriting as a whole and have more life experiences to share more stories though. It definitely felt like more I could tell with a lot more resources though. I mean, it hasn't been easy per se though, but I'm definitely finding more flexible ways to make it work nowadays with everything that I experienced thus far.
Gotcha, gotcha. So I remember you're a Towson alum, just
Yes,
like
I
I
am.
am.
Nice.
So you didn't study music production, right? You studied media production.
I did.
Do you think that helped benefit you more going into the music career?
I definitely think it did though, and I was also involved in like radio broadcasting and audio recording and programming where I did record a track here and there, not too much in depth though, but definitely something I got more involved when I was in the recording studio and the broadcast booth though. But I definitely think me being attached to those that field really helped me influence more about the media side and broadcasting side to how things are operated more and how things are ran prior to my return to the music scene and how I wanted to really spread my talent and my resources to different media outlets.
Do you think it was like the best choice of the options that you could study? Like it really pushed you towards that?
I definitely think so looking back at it, yeah.
Good. So what's your writing process like when you're like writing? Is there anything you do to like get yourself in the headspace or anything that it's kind of like a ritual that you have to do every single time?
Yeah, for me, when it comes to my songwriting, though, normally I tend to listen to the beat first. I ask my producers or beat makers to compose for me. They do the work for me, but I write the lyrics as a whole. But I do give them a vision about, like, hey, what I want the song to be, whether it's fast paced, energetic, slow, melodic, emotional. And normally, not all the time, though, but I usually write the hook first so I can kind of get a feel of, like, hey, once I record this and see, like, how I get a feel of what I want the song to be composed of and how I want it to all come together. Is this when I really start to get a little vision for them? But then when I start to listen to the beat in the whole, when I do like verse one, verse two, verse three, etc., then I get a better feel about how I want the song to be written, how I kind of want to go with the beat and everything. Just kind of use my own voice of how I want this to come about and really go from there and write my lyrics and see how the flow is for me. If it's just some stuff I don't like about the song, what I've written though, just rearrange it, make some adjustments, and before I go into the studio to record, I practice first. And once I feel like I got something going, go in there, record, and hope for a smooth sailing process.
Typically, how many like takes does it take you to get the right one?
It really depends though. Like a few takes I want to say though, so like again, before I go in the studio, I usually practice before I come in. But once I get a better feel of how I want to record in the studio, then I go in there. And if I mess up a track or a verse and I want to go back to it, though, I say, hey, I'm not happy about this. Let's just go from the beginning or at this point in the song. Because when we go to the studio, though, the recording process is once you have something that you really feel jives with you, though, and it's something that you weren't happy with, you want to start over because you feel like you can do better with it though. The producer usually just go right to the point in time where you already recorded it and then go right at the moment where you feel like you want to start over or making some improvements on, some adjustments on, and kind of go from there. And it definitely makes a lot of things a lot more easier when you're in the studio to help, and the producer helps really guide you about how you want things to be done, and as an artist as well about how you want things to be done as well. Because for me, I always really believe and feel that an artist's creative vision is the way to go in the music industry. Yeah.
Mhm. What was the turning point in your life that made you go from broadcasting? Because I know you were working at a news station, correct?
I
What made
Yes.
you decide to like instead of just focusing on that, trying to go back into the music industry?
Like I said before, the mostly serious frustration of not really getting opportunities in the bigger market with better pay in media, and also dealing with a toxic work environment and not really getting paid to the value as I feel I should be paid in, and just dealing with dysfunction as well, where it just led me to a point where I just got so frustrated with all these type of elements in my field and what my current job status has been the last couple of years since I graduated from Towson, where it's been 6 years since I graduated from TU, and I really felt that things haven't been going in the direction I felt like it should be going in. So that's when I really decided to go back to that field, because for the last few years I've been really trying to go find the next chapter of my career path where I can be making more money but doing things that I love, kind of go independent and finding the right people like managers and agents that can really help me take the next step forward. It's been a really challenging process, not gonna lie though, but that's currently where I'm at right now. And I also want to encourage other people as well about how my personal experiences when it comes to networking with people is broadcasting and mostly the music industry. Don't feel pressure about like higher ups like A&Rs in the music industry or record labels pressuring artists to do this and that though, because I'm also really want to speak out when it comes to mental health wise, because what I really don't like about the music industry, particularly in record labels, is how they want you to basically do things on your own, and you keep doing that though. Like I've been posting stuff on Instagram and TikTok though, but the following has not been like blowing up to 1 million people, if you know what I mean. Whereas like some people who trendy get viral is mostly for stuff that's about gimmick stuff. While I'm all about like trying to create talented and amazing materials, and I feel like it really gets underlooked though, and I really felt that even though social media and streaming has been a huge point in the music industry, I really felt like it shouldn't be that top priority, especially for artists that have the talent but are not getting the recognition they deserve, despite many artists saying doing these things that they wanted to do, but you're not getting the results. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do see that a lot with like the smaller artists blowing up because it's like they're able to go viral because of some catchy thing they said or whatever
Or
they did on
dances,
social
yeah.
media.
I
Yeah.
agree. Where I'm all about like creating quality of work, and I'm just not really, because I don't mind using social media though. I'm always active though, but I'm also a very private person, if you know what I mean. I don't really feel comfortable doing things that are out of my comfort zone. Like I'm not a dancer or an influencer or do some crazy viral stuff that gets me noticed though. I'm just all about like being a normal person that just loves to showcase his talent, and to me, that's what always should matter at the very end.
Yeah. If there's um if there's anything that you would change if you could go back in time knowing what you know now about the music industry and where you want to be, is there anything that you would adjust?
I definitely think so. For me, it's mostly just don't feel pressure about trying to be that particular artist because of what some people say, like, hey, you we want you to be the next Eminem or Jay-Z. If you're not this person, then sorry, we can't help you. And it definitely really helped me understand that nowadays, and be aware of people trying to scam you online, because one thing that is really frustrating that I took notice of, even if you go on like Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, or whatever, there are definitely a lot of people that are trying to scam you for a large amount of money to say like, hey, I can get you this and that if you have to pay like five, $10,000, and that shouldn't even be the case right there, though. Where I mean, there's nothing wrong with paying something up front to help you get somewhere, or hire somebody to help you out to where you want to be. But do your research first, and don't try to fall for schemes, because I hate to say it though, but there's a lot of people out there in the music industry, even like A&Rs, producing themselves. Like you've been hearing about the whole P Diddy trial, what's been going on with those freak calls he's been doing, and Kathy Ventura testified in court in New York City about everything that she's witnessed and what she had to go through, the abuse that she suffered. Though that definitely needs to change in everything in the music industry. And looking at those things nowadays, though, I definitely want to make a difference when it comes to that, and not feel pressured by the labels where if you have say you have to be this relevant in order for you to be a star, where again, to me it should be all about the talent and the love of music rather than being a popularity contest, which really disgusts me nowadays. Especially again, there are talented artists out there as well though, but I really felt that there we get more viral artists that are one hit wonders rather than people that are here the long term.
True. Is there anything that you're working on now? Like, are we gonna expect like a performance, any music videos, or any new music coming?
Sure. Well, yeah, I definitely you can definitely expect to see some more performances. I'm planning to go to an open mic performance down the road in a couple of weeks from now on June the 18th, and I'm planning to work on more new songs down the road. I'm currently in pre-production of my new single that I'm planning to record in New York City in September, on September the 3rd. And I already have some lyric videos that are uploaded on my Instagram and TikTok right now. You can check them out on the links that I submitted to you beforehand, though. So definitely feel free to check them out as well. And I'm currently in pre-production on another lyric video I had down the road. I'm just kind of spreading out my plans and everything for what I'm doing, because right now I'm using my paycheck to pay for everything, and currently in the market for a music manager to take me to greater heights and everything. But I definitely got a lot down the road that I'm planning for: more performances, more exposures, and getting more recognition and more articles published on the way. One article is currently in the works right now, so definitely looking forward for you guys to check it out right now. And I'm just really excited for what the future holds for me and my music career.
Great, great. That was all the questions I had. Is there anything else you wanted to tell us about you and your music career?
Sure, yeah, definitely. So for what I definitely want to do in my music career though is to play perform at many concert and festival venues to gain more exposures in the music industry, and to collaborate with one of my favorite artists in hip hop, pop, and R&B, because I definitely got some ideas for songs that I want to create with some of my favorite artists. Like, would it be cool if I list you some of my artists I want to collaborate with in the future? Cool, cool, cool. So the artists I definitely want to collaborate with some songs that I really have some amazing ideas with though. One is Kendrick Lamar,
Hmm.
Eminem, my favorite hip hop artist of all time, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, Megan Thee Stallion, and you know Tate McRae, right?
Hmm.
Her as well. And Alicia Keys too. So definitely a lot of artists I really felt that I want to collaborate with to make some juicy bangers.
That's like a good mix of like some older school type of artists. Because I know
Mm-hmm.
Megan's influence a lot is from her own mother, who is considered an older school musical artist.
Very
And then you
true.
still got the modern, like Sabrina. I know she does like a little bit of mix of both. So
Yeah,
it's like a nice little mix of the
absolutely.
old school and modern.
Absolutely. And I definitely really think that Sabrina and Olivia, when it comes to the pop side, though, definitely do a good job of how they influence it more nowadays, though, where I felt like that pop genre was very lacking. And of course, Kendrick Lamar, no, what else do I need to say? I mean, that's the year he had last year with Not Like Us and his new album, and performing at this year's Super Bowl halftime show. No question, no nothing to be said about that. And
Mhm.
Eminem still killing it after all these years.
Yep.
Yep, and it's also for me though, like I said before though, I definitely think the one thing that's kind of holding me back and what's been slow is the need of a music manager to really help me teach that new side of things though, because like I'm still working hard to this very day just to get myself out there, promote my work though. But after kind of learning the things about how to promote my music and getting bitch on playlists though, I definitely think having a manager is what I need because for as an artist myself though, I think it's also important to understand for artists out there, not just myself, understand what you need help with on the business side to what you need help with on the production side though. And I really felt like having a team definitely benefits from that though because I know as an artist and a person myself, I cannot do this on my own. I definitely need somebody to help me out with that though. So I definitely think it's the one thing holding me back though. And even though my EP's been out for a few months though, it's still relatively new. And the one thing that I was talking about from other artists in the music business or inspired artists themselves though, don't listen to what labels have to say in terms of promoting an unnecessarily large amount of money just to gain relevance, though. Focus on what's important to you and your values because if you look at some music tracks though, like look at Lizzo when True first came out. It was popular back in 2019, but it came out in 2017, and Chaperone, Pink Pony Club, which became popular in the span of a year, came out in 2018. So it's like,
Hmm.
who cares how old it is though? Focus on what's best for you because what again though that's also one thing I got to call on labels on. I do apologize if I'm calling them out right there though, but it definitely needs to be said. If
Yeah.
you're if you want these artists to be relevant, invest on the money on actual talent and actually do your job and stop wasting money on artists that are going to be one hit wonders and are not going to bring in the money because if you're going to give artists these loans and they're not selling, guess what? They still gotta pay them back though. That's one thing I do know, and I'm not going to sign
Hmm.
on any label unless I get creative freedom, own my masters, and be involved with people that I know I want to create bangers with though. Because I definitely learned a lot about what Taylor Swift had to go through, and she recently got her masters back and everything. So hats off to her. How artists have to get out of bad record deals. So it's very important for me and other artists to understand what you're getting yourself into, hire a lawyer, and just understand what you're getting into. And again, age don't mean nothing as well because I always constantly have to remind myself though, I'll be 32 in August though, but I'm still relatively young. And you see other artists that emerge in their 30s, like late
Hmm.
30s, mid 30s, early 30s, like for example, like Sheryl Rowe, Rachel Platten, 2 Chains, and most recently Jelly Roll. So it's like age don't mean nothing,
Yeah.
talent does. So it's like, guys, get off your lazy butts and do something when it comes to actual talent. To me, that's what matters the most, though. And again, I still need to work on finding the right manager and teams and agencies to help me out at a reasonable price and try to focus on going, find a roadmap to where I need to be because I'm still working in broadcasting though, but I'm trying to move on. But I want to make sure I have a successful roadmap so that I can make sure that if I'm with the right people, we can make a whole lot of money doing so because to me, being financially stable is important though, but I want to make sure that we're making the right sums of money for every side to do so that we can be successful doing that and not be in a hole or be in debt to where I can hurt myself in the long run. And
Yeah.
it's definitely been a frustrating process because again, I really felt I hasn't been going in the pace that I felt like I should have been though, especially where excuse me, I really felt that 2025 was supposed to be a big year for me. And while I've done some very big accomplishments this year, make no mistake about it though, I definitely want to go further more the distance. But I know all come together. I know God has a plan for me. My family is still very supportive, and I know with gaining exposure, what we've been doing today, we're really helping out the long run. And I'm just very excited to see where this all takes me.
Yeah. And we're excited to see more from you.
Thank you, thank you.
Of
Really, really
course.
appreciate the love.
Of course.